siya hamugaway, gilasab na ko ang mga kasakit. Sa matag dahon ning lukay, wala jud ko'y pahuway. Nakulit ang way undang nga kahadlok. Lisod hunaon, lisod pagyud buhaton. Bisag unsay atubangon, basta mag-uban lang gihapon. Unta kauban ta sa kasakit o sa kapait, taliwa sa kalisod. Dili unta kamubuhi, hangtod sa hangtod. Kitang duha maninuod, sama sa kinasing kasing ta nga paghimo. Unta magkahiusa atong nakigbisog nga gugma. Dungan natong gamon, mga lukay sa laom. Unta magkahiusa atong nakigbisog nga gugma. Punon nato ang kinasing mga lugar sa pangandoy. Lisod hunaon, lisod pagyud buhaton. Bisag unsay atubangon, basta mag-uban lang gihapon. Unta kauban ta sa kasakit o sa kapait, taliwa sa kalisod. Unta kamubuhi, hangtod sa hangtod. Kitang duha maninuod, sama sa kinasing kasing ta nga paghimo. Natimtim mo ba ang pait kong mga luha, sa mga yamok sa matag wala malagalugay? Unta kauban ta sa kasakit o sa kapait, taliwa sa kalisod. Dili unta kamubuhi, hangtod sa hangtod. Kitang duha maninuod, sama sa kinasing kasing ta nga paghimo. Sama sa kinasing kasing ta nga paghimo.
Maayong hapon natong tanan ug malipayong Pasko sa tanan. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 Heritage Hotel, in partnership with the 𝗓𝗏𝗃 Foundation Incorporated, the Andy Heritage Center, the Central Visayas Association of Museums, present to you this afternoon an event celebrating our indigenous fabrics, Lala, Weaving for the Gods. Maayong hapon sa tanan. Daghang salamat to those on site and to those online. So we apologize for the late, for being late in starting this event. So we had technical problems a while ago. So we are actually, we have actually thought of this event. Of course, you have known that we have celebrated Christmas. We have our symbol for the Christmas at 𝗵𝗃𝗃 the Cebu Heritage Hotel. This Christmas season is a Christmas tree, a star-shaped tree made of banig. So we thought of having this event because in one of our previous events, the fine arts professor at the University of the Philippines-Cebu shared with us that the banig and the fabrics have so much symbolism in our rituals. So that's why we ask, did our pre-colonial ancestors, did our ancestors weave for the gods? So that is the question that we are going to answer today. So as you can see, I am wearing right now a woven cloth, a fabric from the Sulu Island, from the Tausug. This is the kandit. So it is woven from traditional looms, and of course, at my back, you would see the banig from Badian. So you would see the tinalak from the tibuli, and we have also this multi-fiber handicraft given to me by the regional office of the Fiber Industry Development Authority Region 7. So this is a multi-fabric handicraft made from abaca, cotton, and raffia. So thank you very much for the gift from the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 Region 7. And also, so this kandit is a fabric worn by warriors, the Tausug warriors, and this has symbolism. And even their headscarf in Sulu, in Tausug. So they have different ways of wearing the headscarf. If you are a warrior, they would wear the headscarf like there is part of the fabric that covers the ear. So that the symbolism for that is that the warrior, when wearing that headscarf and going to war, he does not hear anything, but he is focused on fighting. And then, of course, the warrior, before they go to war, they have rituals, and they have rituals to ask for guidance, and of course, to for the supreme being to guide them in their warfare. So and even also, so this is the kandit, this is and also they also have the 𝗵𝗃𝗃, and that's for the head. And the kandit is, this is a long cloth, like a kerchief. So of course, here I have so many samples of the hablon from Argao. So and also they have a hand painted hablon in Argao. So we are going to listen this afternoon to the sharing from our resource persons regarding the indigenous fabrics in the different parts in our archipelago. We will have the Manubo indigenous fabric, and we will also hear from our Badian capital, Banig capital of Cebu, from Badian. So we would know about the experiences of our weavers. So during the start of our event this afternoon, you have heard the song Kinasing. We it is about puso. They also weave. We also Puso is also woven. So we also know that the puso is an offering for the gods. So whenever our ancestors would pray and would have rituals, if they want to ask for favors from the deities, binaki, there is kinasing. So of course, our song is about the heart-shaped puso. So, daghang salamat to our resource person for being with us online also. We have Mavi, we have Ferdy from the Taguig City and Pateros. Please type at the comment section. Lala, lala is the Bisaya word for to weave. So usually this is for mats and also for for puso. It's so we actually got that from this book, which is unfortunately out of print. So this is by Dr. Erlinda Alburo, former director of the Cebuano Study Center. Whenever I I want to know the ancient word for something like a Bisaya word in the arts, so I always look for this. I was look at it, look for that word here in the Dictionary of Visayan Arts. Unfortunately, this is out of print, and there, I think the Cebu Cultural and Historical Affairs Commission would be reprinting this. So, so also this month we are celebrating so many things. Aside from today, we have started with the Misa de Aguinaldo, Misa, the Dawn Masses. So usually there are so many names for that. Misa de Gallo, so it's the Mass of the Roosters, and then also Simbang Gabi, but in Tagalog it's Simbang Gabi, but it doesn't happen at night, so it's at dawn. So it's a 9-day mass, and then usually here in Cebu, so and in other parts of our country in the archipelago, there are some who would really finish, who would really go to mass every day for in the 9-day novena to ask for something, right? So they believe, most of us believe that if we finish all the 9 days, then our prayers would be granted. So, and also earlier this month, we are also, of course, I am wearing the �ጥ𝘁𝗵 Kandit, but we are open and we are open to all religions. We also celebrated earlier this month the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And of course, at Pamgras, we are so thankful to the Sisters of the Divine Mercy. They are in the Shrine of the Divine Mercy, and they are making these religious items. They really came here during the pandemic and to sell to so that their items would be displayed at our Sinugatan gifts from Cebu. We even have a rosary with a design of the puso. So, and aside from that, so earlier this month also, we also celebrated the International Human Rights Day on December 10th. So it's the motto or the theme for this year is freedom, equality, and justice for all. And we remember all our ancestors, the warriors, the heroes of Cebu and the Visayas in our country who fought for the human rights of the people, of the Filipinos, of the Cebuanos. So we remember them as we celebrate this year the International Human Rights Day. And also today, December 16, 2023, we are also celebrating the 128th year of the first play shown at Cebu's first theater, Teatro Jonquera. So Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, is located along Jonquera Street. But usually in Cebu, when we hear the word Jonquera, it's always bad in the past. So we are rebranding Jonquera Street. We remember who Jonquera was. Jonquera was the General Inocencio Jonquera was the governor of Cebu in the 1890s, and he built the first theater of Cebu. And he he was against the abuses of the friars. He worked with Cebuanos who later became leaders of the Cebu Revolution against Spain. And on this day, 128 years ago, the first play at Teatro Jonquera, according to National Artist for Literature, Dr. Risil Mujares, Teatro Jonquera was located at the vicinity, at that part at the Colonnade Mall area. So 128 years ago today, the first play in the first theater, the first physical theater of Cebu, the first play was performed there at Teatro Jonquera, at the old Jonquera. And now, today, the rebranding Jonquera partnership of Pamgras with UV with University of San Carlos and the 5 barangays along 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 Street have formed the 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗃 𝗃𝗏𝗃, a community theater composed of the youth of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 Street and other youth in Cebu. And they have already performed and staged the play 𝗵𝗃𝗃 about Leon Kilat and the children of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 Street who went back in time to witness the 1898 Cebu Revolution against Spain. And we are so surprised because it was a coincidence that on December 16, 2018, it was the time that the youth of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 Street with some also theater script writers from UP Cebu, it was the meeting. December 16, 2018 was the meeting to brainstorm about what would be the play that 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗃 would produce. So it was not planned that it was on December 16, and that was December 16, 2018, that the youth of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 Street with other youth in Cebu met to plan about the 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗃. So this is a very historical day, December 16. So many things happened on December 16. So of course, we would be celebrating on December 24, the Christmas Day. Christmas Day in 1898 was the first Christmas that Cebu became free from the Spanish colonial rule. So it will be this December 25 will be the 125th year of the freedom of Cebu from Spain. So we don't usually know about that, and we don't usually celebrate that. So we symbolize the Christmas with the banig. You would see that at the lobby of Pamgras, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, and you would also see our Belen, our 80-year-old Belen nga kabilin from Argao. So we have a hablon sa Argao here, and we also have the Belen of Argao at the Galleria Independencia of Pamgras, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. So aside from that, so daghan pa kaayo ni. So we celebrate there in 1898 also on December 29 at the Cebu Cathedral was the celebration of the Thanksgiving Mass, the celebration of the victory of Cebu from Spanish colonial rule. So we are celebrating Christmas with the streets from 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗵. We have a Christmas cake and of course our tablia treats and also we have lunch or dinner sets with budol fight. So these are all available at Pamgras, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗵. So December 24 and December 29 was our very important dates in the history of Cebu. And this December 29, we would be celebrating it with a hybrid event. And we will not just be discussing about Cebu. We will discuss the Visayas revolution victory against Spanish colonial rule. As we have been telling you in past events, the Visayas has a different story compared with Luzon. Because in Luzon, they declared the independence of the Philippines in Cavite and they were not able to go inside Intramuros. It was the Americans. The Americans were the ones who went inside Intramuros and declaring that they have liberated the Philippines from Spain. But here in Cebu, in Panay Island, in Negros Island, we were able to drive away the Spaniards before the Americans came. And we will discuss that this December 29 here at 3 p.m. at Pamgras Cebu Heritage Hotel. In November, the Panay Island was became free from the Spanish colonial rule. Bacolod and the Negros Island also became free also in November. Cebu became free from Spanish colonial rule on December 24, 1898. And Boholano Gestirul also made a comment that there was a general, a Cebuano Katipunan revolutionary general who went, General Berdiflor, went to Bohol and helped also in the revolution against Spain, and they declared their independence from Spain on December 25, 1898, a day after Cebu was freed from the Spaniards. So we would discuss that this December 29th, and we are so excited to show you the the song sung by the Jonquera Street Children's Choir about Pasko sa Gagawasan, Christmas of Freedom, and we would also be showing you a video, the music video of the children of Jonquera Street. So thank you very much to the coaches, the arranger. The words are written by me, Agripina, again, and we thank our music composer Ilji Fuentes, music arranger, and also our studio, the 𝗵𝗠𝗏𝗏 studio, recording studio. So watch out for it, and we will also be launching the Cebu Hero stickers made by she was still 16 years old when she was the illustrator of the 𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗃𝗃 book. And now we are asking her to make the stickers um, of our heroes. So she usually illustrates animes, but she was the illustrator of our 𝗵𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗃. So Christine Ansabaan would be we would be launching the Cebu Hero stickers also on December 29. So watch out for it. So of course, we will be celebrating the Rizal Day on December 30. It is the martyrdom of Dr. Jose Rizal, and also a day after that, there are so many events in December. We would be welcoming 2024. So there will be also an event here at Palmgras de Cebu Heritage Hotel on December 31, 2023. So daghang salamat to our online audience. So thank you very much to Rosie from Napindan Integrated School, 𝗟𝗹𝗏, uh, uh, going now off to Mass before heading to the on-site event. Sheila Malyari from Tenement Elementary School, and also Babette Santos from Vancouver, Canada. Daghang salamat, Babette, for joining us, even if you're in Canada. And we know it's the time now is very late at night, maybe there, or early morning. We don't know yet. So what time is it there in Canada? So daghang salamat for joining us, even with the distance. So our love for our heritage, for Visayan heritage, knows no distance. So also we thank our those who registered online. So we have participants in our event today that who registered online. So we have participants from the Mindanao State University in Marawi. Thank you very much for joining us. We have from Iloilo Science and Technology University. From University of San Carlos, we have someone from the Cebu Normal University. We also have from 𝗃𝗏𝗃 Filipino Indigenous Arts, and this is an organization based in Canada and advocating for Visayan culture, and also advocating for the indigenous culture in the different parts of the world. Thank you very much for our participant from the Quezon City LGU. We also have a participant from UP Diliman. Daghang salamat for joining us. And also someone from Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu. Daghang salamat for joining us. And also from St. Paul's Hospital. Is this in Cebu? St. Paul's Hospital? Ha? Bacolod. So thank you for enlightening us that St. Paul's Hospital is in Bacolod. And Schools Division of Taguig City and Pateros. We have also from Pagatpat National High School. We have also DOT7 accredited tour guides. Daghang salamat to the flag tour guides and independent tour guides. We also have from La Liga reenactors. Daghang salamat. We have our participants from Badian. Daghang salamat, or from the tourism office. And yeah, and then also from the Cebu Association of Tour Guides. Daghang salamat for joining us. Daghang salamat to Rodora Reyes, watching online and on-site. So now we will be showing you our different fabrics, and also we would be discussing about our indigenous fabrics. So we are so thankful that we have resource persons from the different parts of the Philippines and Cebu. So we thank with us for the first time. We have with us. So we thank this resource person because he actually sent a message to Pamgas the Cebu Heritage Hotel as he wants to share his study about the indigenous fabrics and textile in Mindanao. So we have with us for the first time our resource person who holds a bachelor's degree in fine arts, major in sculpture, and master's degree in art history. And he completed this in the University of the Philippines. He is a painter, a designer, a performer, a puppeteer. He is a Renaissance person, a chanter, a musician, choreographer, a ceramist, and researcher. And he is a true-blooded member of the Agusan Manubo tribe, Manubo Indigenous Cultural Community, and he is currently an assistant professor at the De La Salle University College of St. Benilde. Please help me welcome Professor 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗵. Wala pa siya. Wala siya. So, we, so he is coming back. So please wait for him. So aside from, so he is with us for the first time. We have encountered technical problems actually. So we have with us for the third or fourth time. So our Suki resource person. We always enjoy. We are so delighted in our conversations, and this event is also inspired by one of our conversations in the past. He has been our resource person in pre-colonial fashion and nudity and fashion in pre-colonial Visayas. He was our resource person in pre-colonial aesthetics. He was our judge in our poster making contest in the 500 years of Cebuano heroism, and he is ca- he has completed his masters in art studies and art theory and criticism from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. He is he has been the director and consultant of the 𝗄𝗄𝗃 Gallery of the University of the Philippines-Cebu. He is also the curator and the director of the 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗵 Museum, and he is an assistant professor of fine arts at the University of the Philippines-Cebu, teaching art history, theory and criticism, art management, and product design. Please help me welcome our Suki resource person, Professor J. Nathan Hore. My microphone. Microphone. On.
Check. Mayong hapon sa tanan, mayong hapon sa atong mga tigpaminaw, nakita na sa tagbalik. Thank you for the invitation.
Dahil salamat to Professor J. And also with us for the first time, we are so delighted to have with us for the first time today. He is an anthropology major in archaeology and cultural heritage management from the University of San Carlos, and he got his master's in public administration at the Cebu Normal University. He has been a public servant for almost 3 years and a tourism officer of the Banig capital of Cebu. Please help me welcome. We are so happy. It's our pleasure to have him with us this afternoon, the Municipal Tourism Officer of the Municipality of Badian, 𝗟RELL_Vincent Indab.
Mabuhay, maayong hapon sa tanan, and then I'm very thankful for this opportunity to share banig about Badian. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you very much. Please adjust the... Pwede natin adjust so that... Yes. Daghang salamat. So do we already have Professor Carlito? So, he has not yet come back to online. So we also have this afternoon. Is our camera ready to show our reactors? Is our i-show pa nato? Di lang nato sila i-show. So we also have this afternoon to talk and to share with us about, so di na lang nato sila i-show kaya the camera isn't ready. So we also have with us this afternoon our reactors from the institution, government institution in charge of promoting the local fibers. And so we're so happy that they are with us this afternoon. We have the OIC Regional Director of the Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority, Region 7, Joseph Salas. And also we have with us, with us this afternoon the former director and also Asuki of Pamgras the Cebu Heritage Hotel, always with us online or on site. We have also the former director of the Philippine Fiber Development Authority, Region 7, Benjamin Gong. Thank you very much for joining us. So, so daghang salamat to everyone for being with us, even with our late, uh, nag-echo siya, nag-on na nga camera. So, of course, you have seen the banig here at my back, also the hablon here at my back also. I would like to show you that we have this book here at Pamgras de Cebu Heritage Hotel, Basahanan, Weaving Cultures by the Invention of Colonial Art and Culture in the Philippines. So it's weaving culture, it has about the culture it is about the culture in the Philippines during the colonial period, and this is by historian 𝗏𝗏 a Jesuit priest. So this is available at Pamgras de Cebu Heritage Hotel. So we also have also we is he already around? La pa? Ah, so do we have have his okay na. So we are going to start our discussion about the Manubo woven heritage, the treasures in the Manubo indigenous cultural community. And we are so proud and we're so happy that with us is really a member of the Manubo indigenous cultural community who is now he's really a multi-talented Renaissance person who who would share with us about the Manubo indigenous cultural community and their textile art. Please help me welcome Professor Carlito
With us
Badi.
about the Manubo Indigenous Cultural Community and their textile art. Please help me welcome Professor Carlito about the Manubo Indigenous Cultural Community and their textile art. Please help me welcome Professor Carlito.
Professor Carlito, may we turn off the... Yes. So na-off iyang audio. Pero i-off lang sa
Hello,
answer.
good afternoon, ngayong hapon.
Na-off
Yes.
yung audio.
Sa cellphone.
Pero
Ang
i-off
audio
lang
sa
sa good afternoon, ngayong hapon. Na-off yung audio.
Duha?
Okay, wait for a while.
Ang ato i-off. Sige. Please discuss the indigenous cultural community and their textile art.
Okay, my topic this afternoon about Suyam, Agusan, Manobo traditional art. Okay, my topic this afternoon about Suyam, Agusan, Manobo traditional art. Okay, as you can see here, we have here the iconography. At the same time, the national treasure from Butuan City. Okay, as you can see here, we have here the iconography. At the same time, the national treasure from Butuan City. Such as the Agusan Tiara, we have also here the Balanghay, and to the right, makita nato ang Butuan Ivory Sale.
Nag-echo ko na.
And also makita po nato din ang Butuan Paleograph. Actually delayed siya, no?
Ipa-off yung Facebook. Pa-off yung Facebook.
Okay, just wait for a while. I will switch off the light, FB light. Okay, can you hear me? Sorry. Okay. There's a technical problem.
Live.
Okay. Can you hear me? Sorry. This is what we call here. The suyam is one of the living tradition of embroidery art to the Agusanon Manobo. Again, when we see suyam ang burda. And as you can see, the Agusan can be found at northeastern Mindanao. Agusanon Manobo is an ethno-linguistic community can be found in Mindanao.
Reklamo atong audience.
Okay.
Pwede na to i-adjust.
As you can see here, this is the map of the Butuan. Can you hear me? Hello?
I-remove sa siya koan. Hi. So, kanang remove sa siya. So, we would like to cut first the discussion of Professor Carlito Amalia because we still have a technical problem and those online have experienced the echo. So, now we would like to ask first the experience, the banig tradition in Badian. So, we would like to ask our municipal tourism officer from Badian to discuss about the development of this banig handicraft in Badian. So may we have Earl? Yes.
Okay. Once again, mabuhay everyone. To our live audience here, mabuhay, and to our audience online also, mabuhay as well. So I'll be discussing today about the banig of Badian, its developments, and how we are doing today of the banig industry in Badian, because Badian is known for the tourism industry, especially about canyoneering. We have the most famous Kawasan Falls. We have the pristine white beach of Lambog, and of course the highest peak of the province of Cebu, 𝗚𝗏 Peak. But where is Banig in that picture of Badian? So that's why I'm having this conversation titled as Badian Weaving Adventures, because with all these things about Badian, especially in the tourism industry, we all have been weaved into a certain part of the Banig culture of Badian. But before we discuss or delve into the discussion of Banig industry, first we must contextualize about Badian. Okay, so first we go to the history of Badian. Contrary to the popular belief, Badian has been settled for more than 13th to 14th century already. There has been an archaeological findings in Barangay Bugas. So this is porcelain pieces that belongs to late Sang and Yuan dynasties. So meaning Badian has been settled before Magellan came to the country. So that's why Badian has a long story of history in the municipality. So in the Spanish era, the settlement was first established in present-day Matutinao, or most famous of the area of Kawasan Falls, but it was changed to the town center because of the rampant Moro raidings. Next, please. So, Badian before has been already in the map in the Philippines. Hence, we are part of the Padre Murillo Velarde map. It is a map in 1734, developed in 1734, and Badian was named Matutinao before. So, Matutinao is because of the clear waters of the Kawasan River. According to them, it's Matud nila Tinao. That's why it's called Matutinao. Next, please. So Badian is known for the word Badiang. It's a plant. No, it's a huge plant. If you're familiar, during the pandemic, it was very famous. No, it was sold for almost 25,000 per plant because of it was famous and it was exotic. But in Badian, it's not that exotic. Even siguro here in Cebu or in other parts of the country, it's not that exotic because it just found Badiang in swampy places. So like for example, in springs, waterfalls, river area. So no wonder Badian has lots of Badiang. It's because we have a lot of spring and we have a lot of river systems as well. That's why when the Spaniards came to our area, they they saw the Badiang very common to the place. So again, I've told you earlier about how blessed of the natural resources of Badian. We have a lot of water resources. We have the falls, we have the beach, spring, river systems, and aside from that, we also have cultural heritages such as the church, and we have the municipal hall, and we also have the mountain ranges in Badian, the Osmeña Peak, 𝗵𝗏𝗄 Peak, which is geographically and topographically part of Badian, but it can also be accessed in Dalagete. So, why Badiang plant turned into the pandan plant of Banig? So, Badian, before, according to history, it was written that the history of Banig weaving started in Japanese era, where the Badianganos fled to the mountainous areas to hide themselves with the Japanese. But it's in the documents. But I believe that even before the Japanese era, there has been engagement of Banig already in Badian, but it was not documented because there was a missing of, I think, interest before. But now we have been developing studies in terms of Banig so that we can really improve the Banig industry of Badian. So in the present, Badian has been strongly prioritizing Banig as part of the economic driver of the municipality aside from the tourism industry. Next, please. First, let me take you to the banig weaving process of the banig sa Badian. And I think this is a very common banig weaving processes as well in the other parts of the country. So in Badian, we highlight 5 processes of the banig. First, we have magtubong. So magtubong is a process where you cut the leaf of the pandan plant. So pandan plant, or in other areas, is also called romblon. No, so we cut the pandan through a sanggot, no. So wana siya pagkat piece by piece. So we only cut those katong mga long enough to be processed to become a banig. No, so usually ang mga mag-cut ani is women, kay farmers, mga laki, no, ang ilahang mga husbands would go to farming, magplant, especially about corn and fisher folks as well. So ang mga kababainhan, sila ang mahabilin sa balay. So mahabilin sa balay, mag-atiman sa mga anak. So mga anak, magluto and other household niya mga buhatonon. So and then if mahuman na, that's why they go to making banig. So that's why nasa time magtubong, magkat o banig. So this is the first process of banig weaving. The next one is the maglilas. So maglilas is the process where you strip down the leaf, no? So nana siya as you can see in the picture na atay item, no, nga this is gihimo gyud ni siya sa ato ang mga weavers. Wala din ni siya makit-an nga item nga paliton ato sa supermarket or sa any department store, kay kini siya hinimo ni nila nga customize. So mo ni siya ang lilasan, the right picture, no, makita na to naa siya kahoy nga naay blades. It's called a lilasan, wherein ilang i-press down ang ilang leaves diha and then birahon. So para mahimo siya nga strips. So but before na siya buhaton, kay kuhaan pa pud na nila og tunok. So wala siya ang process sa maglilas. Then after siya maglilas, ang paglilas is mag-varies into different sizes. So there are lilasan that is very small and there is a lilasan nga very big pod. Mana makita nato sa iyahang banig nga pattern nga naay dagko o naay gagmay, it's because sa paglilas nga part naay dagko pod ana naapod siya gagmay. No, and then after sa paglilas ila nang ihang to dry. So mo na nga makita nato from green color sa iyang leaf mahimo siya nga cream nga color. So after sa paglilas, next please. Diri na to ang maghagod. So maghagod because ang nature sa leaf, it's rough siya, no? So mo na nga haguron meaning smooth out ang ato ang leaf. Kay para ang iyahang paglala or the process of weaving na from one piece to another nga mga banig strips kay dali na lang siya. So mo na nga haguron gyud na siya. So ang paggamit sa hagod is any sharp material para mas smooth out kay ang nature sa leaf niya is it's rough and it's hard. So para humok siya, mo na nga haguron siya. And then after sa paghagod kay ihang na pud na siya. After sa paghang i-dye. And then after sa pag-dye, balik ko na po na siya hagod. Para pagtanaw nga, humok yun ang ato ang leaf. Ready for weaving. So ilan ang balik-balikon og tanaw. And ang process po sa pagtina is magdepende po na siya if unsa ang color nga.
Yes. So, daghang
Okay.
salamat. Do you have for this process of weaving, do we have the English translation for our audience who can't understand Bisaya? For example, the first step is what's the first step?
Magtubong.
Magtubong. So do we have a translation of that?
So it's to cut the leaf. But there's no direct translation because it's
harvesting.
harvesting,
Magtubong. So the
Magtubong.
first is, so the material, the plant is the pandan.
Pandan, yes. So,
Pandan.
Or in other areas, it's also called rumblon.
Romblon. And
O barrio.
what is it in Antique?
Barrio.
Baliw.
Barrio.
Bariw.
Mhm.
Bariw.
Mm.
Then so the first is to harvest.
Yes.
Then the second is to maglilas,
To strip.
to strip the leaf.
Yes.
Then the next is
Is maghagod.
maghagod. to soften,
Yes.
to soften
To
the leaf.
soften.
Then
To
after
soften.
the softening of the leaf, maghagod,
Maglala. So,
maglala,
oh, so
to die. Ah, so lala is to
I
die.
know, no. Lala
Tina,
is Tina is
magtina.
yes. The natural color of it is cream. Like this one, this is the natural color of the banig, and this one's already dyed, no, with
Yes.
violet. This is actually a violet color, green and yellow and red. So
Yes.
this is the common banig colors in Badian, no, the
Please
pure,
show the banig
yeah.
kanang without the graphics. I-remove ko no ang kuan. I-remove ko no ang di okay rin na. So si Earl
Yeah.
would show can you show a bigger picture of 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 Earl so that he would show the banig, the colors? Yes. No. Yes. So what are the usual colors of the banig, Earl?
So this is the usual colors that this is the traditional one. When I was still young, mao na gyud ni ang color sa banig nga ako nadak-an, no nga. The pure one, or in our area they call this white, puti, no nga color, and then we have the violet one. This is a violet, and then we have green, yellow, and orange. So actually, the shades of the color of banig varies depending on the leaf niya. Okay, if sa pag leaf niya pagpabukal during sa tina nga process, the color process, if it's too dark, then it would appear nga dark ang atoang color, like this one here. So there are different shades. So this is pure white, but there is a dark one here. It's because of the boiling process during the coloring
Yes.
part
So
of it.
it's tina, then it's now weaving
Yes,
after
weaving.
the color putting color on the leaves.
Yes.
So now we would like to know what are the sectors involved in the weaving process sa pagla sa banig in Badian.
Women in the households are the most common weavers of Badian. Especially, we have identified 4 communities in Badian that are into, or very much into banig weaving. We have Barangay Dubdub, Barangay Talayong, Barangay Saragosa, and Barangay Basiao. So these are the barangays that we are helping develop, and we are engaged them into training as well, and then product enhancement, so that they will be focused on developing more products of banig in Badian.
Daghang
So,
salamat Earl. So we would like to know how did Badian become the banig capital of Cebu?
so flashback, going back to 2000, no, there was a move by the municipality to develop a festivity in line with our annual town fiesta in honor to St. James the Apostle, no, on July 24 and 25. So the council has decided to come up with banig because before, when I was still little, I always see people delivering banig, especially the sleeping mat products, to the city. So I would always see, if you're familiar with Librando buses, so Librando bus is original bus in Badian. So it starts Badian going to the city. So the banig weavers in Badian would let their products, kining ato mga banig nga mga products, sleeping mats, ilahang ipadala sa Librando. So it's an easy access for them to promote banig. It's because of the transportation. It's because of the Librando bus. It paved way of developing the product nga mas known siya to the Cebuano community. It's because of this transportation.
Daghang
So
salamat Earl. So there is a question from 𝗵𝗵 Taguig City and Pateros, and they would like to ask if weaving already a part of the education curriculum, or is it learned in school in Badian to promote this tradition of weaving?
Yes, that's a very good question, because we are actually uh, developing a program next year to include ethnic weaving, especially to the high school students. It's because we don't want that banig weaving will be left out. So we want that the kids, especially today, that's the challenge of our banig weavers. They're getting older, and no one will has
Follow.
interest to become a weaver, especially among the youth.
Okay. Daghang salamat. Or we have more questions for you later. But now we would like to trace the history of Banig. So is he already Professor Carlito is already around. So before we would call, so Professor Carlito is already here. So before he would share his knowledge and research about the Manubu indigenous fabric, I would like to share with you this our history also in Cebu regarding our rituals, that rituals in Cebu when the Spaniards came in 1521, and that's more than 500 years ago. And the Spaniards saw that in the ritual of old women, in the Babaylan ritual, when they were slaughtering a pig, the fabric was always, or the cloth is always part of these rituals of our ancestors. So, for example, this is from Pigafetta. So he was giving a report in the chronicles that in order that you will know the ceremonies that those people, and that's in Cebu, use in consecrating the swine or the pig. They first sound those large gongs, and then there were large dishes brought in with roses, with cakes, this is with food, millet, baked and wrapped in leaves, and roast fish. And this food come with a cloth of kambay cloth. So, and two standards made of palm tree cloth. So during the ritual, they have a kambaya cloth, and also palm tree cloth. One bit of cloth of kambaya is spread on the ground. So the cloth during the ritual is spread on the ground, and two old women come, each of whom has a bamboo trumpet in her hand. And when they have and she with the horns always speaks covertly to the sun and the other. So they would step on that cloth on the ground, and then they would give obeisance to the sun. And then one of them, one of the women would be holding the cloth on her, putting the cloth uh, around her body, and then they would also put the cloth on their forehead, on their head, and takes another kerchief in her hand. So there's a cloth in her hand, and dancing and blowing upon her trumpet, and she thereby calls to the sun, and the other takes one of the standards of cloth and dances and blows her trumpet. So this woven cloth in the ancient times were always part of these rituals. They dance and call out call out and saying many things between themselves. She with the kerchief takes the other standard, lets the kerchief drop. So they have rituals with the cloth. They would dance with it, drop the cloth, then blowing on their trumpets for a long time, dance bound about the bound cloth, making motions for our times, trusting the lance through the heart. So this is described in Pigafetta. So William Henry Scott in his barangay also summarized that ritual. So when they would describe the rituals in pre-colonial times, so this is how William Henry Scott in this book, The Barangay, describe it. The solemn pag-anito, so pag-anito is a ritual of the Babaylan, was described in the 16th century as follows. The site was adorned with green branches, palm leaf cloths, and colorful blankets. So a ritual cannot, the ritual site or the place where you do a ritual by the spiritual leaders or the Babaylanes, the site should have should be adorned. So it's adorned with green branches, palm leaf cloths, and colorful blankets. And they also have offerings of fish, rice, millet cakes wrapped in leaves, and the imported 𝗵𝗿 cloth. So they also have imported cloth aside from the woven palm leaf cloth. And also, they have a large, they would, a live large hog raised and fattened for this, and lay bound on the grass mat. So banig ni siya, so they would put the swine on the mat. So naay banig, ibutang sa, they would put the hog on the mat, the grass mat. So this could be, we don't know what's the material of the grass. Is it pandan? So an alive large hog raised and yes, and there is music provided, gongs, drums. So the Babaylan was an old woman wearing a headdress topped by a pair of horns, and they would be carrying bamboo trumpets, and they proceeded to dance around the hog with scarves in their hand, acting out a dialogue between the spirits, possessing them, drinking wine, and sprinkling some of it. So those is what I read is part of the description of uh, William Henry Scott in the book The Barangay about a pag-anito or a Babaylan ritual in 16th century here in Cebu. So in the ritual, so we don't know yet the meanings of this. Like, why do they need to have to put the scarf on their head and put the cloth around their body, and they put the hog on the banig? Is it just for functional, for hygiene purposes, or is there a meaning of that? So ready na ka? So now we would like to have our fine arts professor, and so we would like to have our fine arts professor from De La Salle, from De La Salle University, College of St. Benilde, to tell us about also the present day rituals, or the even in history, or the heritage of the Manobo Indigenous cultural community under textile art. Are we ready? Yes. May we have now Professor Carlito. Yes.
Hello, mayong buntag. Can you hear me?
Yes, congratulations. We already hear you properly.
Up to now, I cannot see my PowerPoint. Yeah.
So please show
Ito
the
na.
yes.
From the start, please. Okay. Mayong hapon. Sa mga Sugbuano og naminaw karong hapuna, my topic is about suyam, agusan, manobo, a textile art. In Butuan, especially in northern Mindanao, while you can see here what we call the golden tara of agusan, now in the Field Museum. Second, we have here the iconic Butawan Balanghay sailboat, or we call this one the Butuan boat. And we have also here our national treasure. We have here the Butuan ivory sail. Ginagamit to during trading. In other words, ito yung ginagamit pag-stamp sa business. And the fourth one, we have here the Butuan paleograph. And lastly, the garment, the textile, we have here the suyam. Next, please. Suyam is one of the living tradition of embroidery art to the Agusanon Malobo. As I've said, ang suyam, ito yung tinatawag na embroidery. It's a living tradition. Time immemorial, it's a sustainability, it's still continuing, it's a traditional art, keep on from generation to generation, ginagamit pa rin. The Agusanon Manobo, makikita natin sa Northern Mindanao. This is the best example of suyam, where you can see the iconography, and also the geometric shape. Next, please. Ito yung tinatawag natin na mapa ng Butuan and Agusan. Ito yung Agusan del Norte and Agusan del Sur. This is the Philippines. Philippines composed of 7,641 islands, while Butuan is the capital of Caraga region, where you can see the maritime, the mountains, and also the river systems. Next slide. My topic, my research focus on in Butuan City. This is more on the innovation. And then the Agusan del Sur focus also for the tradition. Ito yung paradigm ko kung saan ginagamit ko dito yung paliot, or what we call this one, the accessories. Next, please. Antonio Pigapetta described 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗵 Butuan. According to their customs, he was the finest looking man that we saw among the people. Siya ang pinaka-guwapo. His hair was exceedingly black and hung to his shoulder. He had covering a silk on his head and wore 2 large golden earrings passing his ears. He wore cotton cloth all embroidered with silk. Ito yung tinatawag natin na suyam, which covering him from the waist to the knees, and his side hung a dagger made of gold, and hat was somehow long and made of gold. That's why there are lots of gold in Butuan and also in Surigao, and his scabbard of covered woods. He had 3 spots of gold on every tooth, and his teeth appeared as if bound with gold. He was a tawny and tattooed all over. Meron siyang patik, or we call this one panghutob or tattoo. And na-research ko rin sa sa National Geographic, ito yung sabihin natin na iconography or photo ng dato, how doon ito yung chieftain. As we all know that Tagusan Manubo, mas sila patriarchal. Next slide please. This is what we call the 𝗏𝗍𝗲, the woman chieftain, wife of the dato. And you can see here the textile using here the abaka, sinamay, and we call this one dadagmoy. Kapag ang Butuan and Agusan diha, we call this one dagmoy. While sa some part of Davao, ito naman ay tinatawag na dagmay na mga mandaya. You can see here the accessories and also the embroidery. Next slide please. Ito naman yung bagani. Bagani is the warrior or protector. Just in case kung mamatay ang dato or chieftain, ang bagani ang successor. They are the protector of the community. The udipon, ito yung slaves. Sa tribe ng mga Agusanon Manobo, the more na marami kang alipin or slave, medyo maangat ang katayuan. Next slide. In Agusan Province, Philippines, where there is a socially being implication for power, status, symbol, prestige, beauty, and charm, the dress plays an ergonomic fashion from womb to tomb. Yung suyam kasi makikita din natin dito yung napaka-massive. Napaka-sabihin natin marami siyang embroidery. The more na maraming embroidery, mataas ang katungkulan. Ginagamit to mula sa sinapupunan hanggang sa mamatay ang isang Agusanon Manubo. Kaya ginagamit to sa kasal, nung bata pa hanggang sa pagtanda. Next slide please. Ito yung drawing ko, illustration, ng isang Agusanon Manobo. Ang kulay niya ay red and white. Red symbol of blood, while white symbol of purity. Makita natin yung mga kagamitan, mga disenyo nito as from head to toe, kung saan meron siyang mga Agusanon Manobo na text, at the same time name. Pero ngayon medyo archaic na siya, hindi na masyadong ginagamit yung mga termino. Kaya ang ginawa ko sa thesis advisor kay Ma'am Norma Respicio, nag-drawing ako at the same time and explain ko yung mga design na makikita natin mula ulo hanggang talampakan. Ito yung tinatawag na chieftain, dato. Next please. Ito naman ang 𝗏𝗍𝗲, kung saan mas maraming palamuti ang mga kababaihan, ang mga kalalakihan sa mga kababaihan. Yung kababaihan naman, titingnan natin yung suyam mula ulo hanggang talampakan, kung saan ang babae gumagamit din siya ng puting kulay and also the red color. Next please. The next illustration here, this is what we call 𝗘𝗿𝗏. Baybayin is a healer. May baylan kaming lalaki, may baylan din kaming mga babae. Kung saan they are the healer, they are the ritualistic. Ang baylan naman, kung titingnan natin, gumagamit sila dito ng black color. Black is a symbol of mystery and also mysticism. The design is what we call binuadya. Binuadya means binuaya crocodile. Next, please. The other one we have here, the babaylan. Kung may baylan na lalaki, may babaylan na babae. Kaya bai, babaylan. Same with color, makikita natin yung kamay niya nakahawak siya ng tubaw, samantala yung lalaki naman nakahawak ng palaspas or banoy. Pakunti na pakunti ang disenyo, pakunti na pakunti ang mga palamuti. Next slide. Next slide. Ito yung tinatawag na bagani, the protector, at the same time, the warrior. Ang bagani, gumagamit siya ng red color, symbol of blood, and also, like, just in case kung mamatay ang dato or hawdon, ang bagani ang successor. Siya ang protector. Next. Ito naman yung udipon or alipin. Ang alipin na lalaki, we call this one sa banda eh. Look at the dress, the design. Pakunti na pakunti, halos wala ng palamuti. Halos wala ng body accessories. Pakunti na din yung tinatawag na tattoo. Then meron tayong, ano dito yung alipin or slave. Next slide. Ito ang tinatawag na aylang. Aylang ang slave. Kung saan, as you can see here, minimal na ang textile, minimal na ang design, minimal na ang accessories. Next photo, we have here yukos. Yukos yung mga bata. Minsan ang bata, wala silang mga damit. They have no dress. While they're going to use, especially the alipin, yellow and red. Why is it yellow for alipin or slave? Because if you're exposed to the sun, majority of them are peasant and farmer, mas lower ka. But if you're going to use the four color, mas mataas ang katungkulan here, such as the color of red, yellow, black, and white. And lastly, we have here the bata buhi. As you can see here, pakunti na ang mga design, minimal na, halos wala na mga borda. Halos wala na rin mga accessories. Sometimes walang saplot ang mga bata. And next slide, we have here, this is my illustration, my drawing. I love drawing. As you can see here, may mga disenyong binao. This is the turtle, may mga geometric shape, may mga anthropomorphic. This kind of design, ito yung tinatawag na dinadrago. Nakikita ko to sa ginto, nakikita ko ito sa embroidery, and also sa mga wood carving. Next slide. This is the geometric shape. Ito naman yung makikita natin sa tubig. Yung mga isda, yung mga makikita natin sa aerial or sa itaas, ito yung mga ibon. And then, as you can see here, meron na kaming tuko. No? Nagsiserve siya as for time. This is good also for ecology. Next slide. Maraming mga drawing dito kung ano yung kagamitan, saan makikita, sa damit, ano yung symbolic meaning dito nakasulat. Actually, yung master's thesis ko, ano siya, more on Filipino or Tagalog ang paggamit. Next slide, please. Okay, yung geometric shape naman ito, yung geometrical, ito yung square, ito naman yung heart shape. Meron na kaming diamond kung saan makikita dito yung mandala design. May mga X, nakikita ko sa tattoo and also sa mga embroidery. Next slide. Ito naman yung circular kung saan kung may mandala na square, meron din kaming mandalang circle. Ito yung ligbos or mushroom kasi ang ligbos, ito yung gustong pagkain ng mga manubo. Again, may mga geometric shape, the triangle, the square, the slant. Ito naman yung mga halaman or mga bulaklak na mga disenyo. Next slide. Makikita natin yung mga dahon kung saan ginagamit ito sa halamang gamot and then yung mga gulay. Kung titingnan natin, ito yung tinatawag na pinako or it looks like a fern. Kung ang Maranao at mga Maguindanao meron silang what you call this one, okir or okil, kami meron din to kasi ang mga manubo, mahilig kumain sila ng fern or yung pako na gulay. Ito yung pinaka-iconic na design, ito yung tinampuso. tatlong puso ng saging, representation about the community. Makikita to sa tato, makikita din to sa suyam. Yung disenyong ito yung tinatawag na binuadya design. 4 colors gamit ng kababaihan, especially the dato, at also mga bain. Next slide. Ito naman yung balanghay, kung saan maraming nakuhang balanghay ang Butuan. Kung as you can see here, the bow or the paddle, bakit kaya siya pointed? Pointed siya dahil sa Butuan noong unang panahon sa Agusan, maraming buaya. Para this a defense, just in case may buaya, habang sumasakay ka ng sailboat, it's easy to kill kasi pointed siya. It's also a paddle and also a weapon. Ito naman yung nakikita natin yung mga pangutob, or we call this one the tattoo. Next slide. Tattoo is what we call the pangutob, yung shelled. Lahat ng mga nakikita pong visual art, drawing ko dito. Ito naman yung representation ng diwata. Noong unang panahon, ang mga ancient Manobo na katira sa Butuan, naging Katoliko. Pero yung mga Butuano naman pumunta doon sa some part of the Muslim area, nagiging tausog sila. Yung tausog na lingwahe at saka Butuanong lang lingwahe, parang they are similar, magkapareho lang sila. Ito naman yung pinanganod. Next slide. Makita natin yung visual illustration. This is a representation of the bubungan, the mountain. Meron na kaming liling-o kung saan iconic ang liling-o from Southeast Asia and also from Northern Luzon. Meron din to sa Mindanao. Kung saan ang mga ginto, makikita natin sa Ayala Museum, nakuha sa Butuan, nakuha sa Surigao at buong Pilipinas. Next slide. Ito naman yung iconography namin. Hanggang ngayon, makikita natin tong imahe na to na patayo. Pero nung dumating ang Kastila sa Butuan, naging cross na siya. Yung pangil naman, ginagamit to as amulet and also for healing. Ito yung mga miniskada, just in case mamatay ang dato, meron silang tinatawag na death mask. Ito yung minata, ito yung design na parang dalawang triangle representation to ng golden tara. Ito yung 𝗏𝗏 or what we call this one anthropomorphic. Next slide. Yun. When you see samoy, ang termino na design. Panguto for us, patik, we call this one tattoo. Yung suyam, yung embroidery, nag-start siya sa tattoo. Kung ano ang design ng tattoo, the more na marami kang tattoo, mataas ang katungkulan mo. Yung design na tattoo, ginawang borda, ginawang design sa damit. Next slide. Okay, dagmoy, a multi-purpose textile, kamuyit is a backpack. Yung white sa paggawa ng abaka or sinamay, ito yung tinatawag na white, ang abaka mismo. Ang red, we term this one kililuza. Yung black naman, ang kililuza, isang halaman kung saan red ang ang natural dyeing. While apito naman, it produce black. Sometimes gumagamit din kami ng lupa because it is rich of iron, kara maitim. Yung yellow naman, ito yung tinatawag na turmeric para makapag-produce ng yellow or what we call this one, orange. Okay? Again, ito yung mga nung unang panahon sa Butuan na ginagamit na hammock, not hammock, ginagamit itong na blanket, and also this is the backpack. Napaka-organic. Bakit siya nawala ang kulay? Dahil masyadong matagal na to, nangingitin siya. Because of the elements of the wind, of the water, the moisture, kaya naiba ang kulay dahil organic siya, hindi siya synthetic color. Next slide, please. Sa amin noong unang panahon, may collection din akong tinatawag na dagom needle, kung saan may butas ito. Ito yung bones or makikita natin to sa hayop na ginagamit to ng sinulid. Dito nilagay yung abaka or yung textile or ang sinulid para mag-embroidery sila, para sila gumawa ng damit. Again, this is the dagom. This is the needle, yung ancient way. Pero ngayon, in contemporary time, gumagamit na sila ng needle made of metal. Next slide. Ikat, is a tie-dye technique. This is the pre-colonial. Makikita to natin sa National Museum of Anthropology kung saan organiko ang pagkukulay nito. Ito yung 4 colors na may, ito naman ay pagtingin ko ay cotton, and then ito yung abaka na tinatay-dye na gumagamit sila ng kaliluza, it produce red. There are 4 colors, red, yellow, black, and also white. Next slide. Ito naman yung, next picture please. Ito yung manunuyam. Ang manunuyam ay mga kababaihan. They are the storyteller, at the same time, they are the cultural bearers. Ang paggawa ng, sometimes ang manunuyang tinatawag siyang mangsusuyang. Mga kababaihan to, kasi ang visual natin hindi nakasulat. It's very Western. Sa atin kasi ang mga visual natin ay nasa embroidery. Yung story, yung visual, nasa pagbuborda. Gumagamit sila ng dito, ng dagom or needle and thread, the 4 colors, na ang representation nito, kapag pataas, it symbolizes about spirituality. Kung pababa naman yung pagtahi nila or paggamit ng sinulid and also the needle, it represents about the humanity. It's very tedious, at the same time consuming. Kapag ang pagboborda ay umaabot to ng 1 month or 2 months. And then yung suyang, yung consumption nito sa community lang. Hindi siya talaga for market based. Pero ngayon nagbago na ang colonial tawag nito ang pamamaraan. Next slide please. Ito yung kangan. Ang kangan, ang term for cloth, is a polyester. Next slide. We have here, next slide, next to kangan. Ito yung abaka embroidery, kung saan this is made of abaka and also a thread, no? A combination of polyester na thread and also cotton and the abaka. Kung titingnan mo, repetitive yung design. Meron tayong design dito natin ng puso. Next slide. Ito naman yung hanggang ngayon sa Agusan del Sur, buhay na buhay pa rin ang paglalala or pag-wave gamit ang abaka. Gumamit din sila ng sako. They are very resourceful at saka cotton, no? Yung mga kababaihan ang nagboborda. In our contemporary time, mga lalaki allowed na rin sila magboborda at the same time maggamit ng backstrap loom. Ito yung sako, ito yung cotton. Ito naman yung tinatawag na abaka na na-produce na makikita sa National Museum of Butuan. Next slide, please. Okay, ang 𝗏𝗿𝗹 is a chant, no? Is a chanting, while 𝗘𝗿𝗿 is a ritual prayer. Ito yung mga traditional kung saan nagbuborda dito. Gumagamit ito naman yung loom na pedal frame loom. Ito naman yung mostly sa Butuan, yung tinatawag ng mga commercial, hindi sila mga Agusano Manubo. Mostly are Bisaya and outsiders, paggawa ng mga accessories. Kaya nung nag-research ako, tinuruan din nila ako kung paano mag-awit ng dahot. Bago sila gumawa ng pagsusuyang, nagpe-prayer nilang sila para magabayan sila ng tawag nito ng magbabadya, yung supreme God ng mga Manubo. Next slide. Ito yaman ang illustration ko na backstrap loom, kung saan ang term ito ay mga Agusanon Manubo. Halos pakunti, vanishing na ang paglalala or pag-wave sa community namin sa Agusan del Sur. Next slide. Ito na yung drawing ko na representation ng pedal frame loom. Actually, nung na-drawing ko to, madaling mag-drawing. Pero nung na-describe ko to, halos din na nagagamit ang mga words. Nung wini-workshop ako paano paggamit ito, saka ko na nagamit ang proseso sa paggamit ng pedal frame loom. Okay? May backstrap loom, may pedal frame loom din sila na again, this is made of kawayan and also kahoy. Ito yung produce nila na abaka. Next slide. Ito yung 𝗏𝗏𝗃. 𝗏𝗏𝗃 is upper dress, traditional dress. Mostly ginagamit to ng mga baylan na ito ay baylan na panglalaki. Ito naman ay baylan na pangbabae. Kaya black siya is a symbol of mystery and mysticism. Mostly sa mga design, punong-puno siya ng mga suyang. Next slide. And we have here, next slide, please. Ito yung mga sawal. Ang sawat ang short pan kung saan, kung red, ginagamit to ng mga bagani because the bagani is considered as the warrior and protector. May mga disenyo nito na repetitive, na pabalik-balik. Ang representation nito may meaning to, may symbolic meaning, kung ano yung mga iconography niya, kung ano yung representation, kung ano yung mga symbolism. Next slide. Okay, ang upak naman, ito yung upper garment ng mga kababaihan. Sa damit na to, you can see the suyam, ito yung pambabae. No, there are 4 colors. Next slide, umpak is upper garment. Yung sada naman, ito yung pangbabae, kung saan makikita natin yung upper skirt, lower skirt rather, sada ang term. You can see here a massive ang design, embroidery, and very colorful. Sa ating kasi kapag ang sada or sayal, masyadong may garter. Sa manubo, iba yung ano nila, iba yung pamamaraan kung paano to gagamitin at susuotin. Next slide. The lower and upper garment. Ito yung ginawa ng cultural bearer. Kung saan ang cultural bearer, makikita natin yung representation ng mga iconography, yung mga tinampuso, and also mga kinawilan, kung saan 4 ang nakulay. And then, bakit kaya pabalik-balik ang design? The more na pabalik-balik ang design, repetitive, yun ay importante. Yun ang lagi nating makikita nila sa paligid. They are also a dream weaver. Kung ano yung napanaginipan nila, din yun ang isusuyan nila. Okay, next slide. Ang back naman ng color, kung mayugdong is means red. While mayugom, lagom, it's black. While maputi, white, mahayag is yellow. Kung saan makikita natin yung 4 colors. Bakit kaya anong design nito? It looks like a kimbo design or nakaganon yung design because this is a representation of golden tara. Tapos kapag ang manubo sumasayaw, minimimik nila ang sayaw ng golden tara. It's a symbol of also a power and also dignified. Next slide. Ang tinapuso, again, is a community. Ito ang puso ng saging. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kasi mahilig sila kumain ng gulay. The more na colorful ang life nila, colorful din ang kinakain nila. Ito yung embroidery. Ito naman ang photographic. Modern na. Masyadong ano na siya, contemporary. Ito, binuburda ng mga cultural bearer. Ito naman, ang photographic or soul screen, ang mga mga businessman. Or kung gusto nilang sa mga tourists o Butuanon, madaling ibinta, mass produce. Well, this one, ito naman masyadong matagal gawin. Next slide. Tinampusoy is a community collective. Kinawilan is a family. There are 4 representation of tinampuso. Ito ang term na kinawilan. Ang family is the center of the community. Next slide. Ang binutuon, star. Kung titingnan nyo, representation of the star ay binutuon. Dahil ang butuon, it serve as the time before. Titingnan nila sa langit, may mga bituon, maganda ang panahon, maganda ang klima. Ginagamit din ang bituon kapag sumakay sila ng balanghay, tinitingnan nila ang star kung saan ang direction nito. Kaya makikita to sa tattoo and also embroidery. Next slide. Ito naman ang kinasag shield is a protection. Kasi noong unang panahon, maraming buaya sa Butuan. Gumagamit sila ng shield for defense, gumagamit sila ng pointed bow para madaling mapatay ang buaya. May shield of protection sa community. Next slide. Ito yung Binawood waves, kung saan ito yung Agusan River. This is the bank of Agusan River. This is a representation of the wave, slant, and also diagonal. Ito yung tinatawag na kinamagsi, yung mga flower. During flood sa Butuan, maraming mga kinamagsi kasi ginagamit to nila for healing at sa paggagamot. Next slide, Binawood or waves. Binuadya, crocodile. Ito yung representation ng buadya, backbone to ng crocodile, na ang binuadya mismo, ang gagamit nito ay mga bae, mga dato, and also the bagani, and bailan. Walang karapatang gumamit dito ang mga slave kasi it's very sacred. Hindi dito mostly ginagamit ng mga outsider kasi kung gumagamit ka ng binuadya crocodile, magkakasakit ka. May may healing at the same time may harmful effect. Next slide. Kaya maraming crocodile sa Agusan noon, the more maganda ang ecology. Ang kinamagsi naman ang flower during baha sa Agusan, makikita to, ginagamit to nila for healing and also nilagay nila sa oil nito para sila ma-heal sa kanilang sakit. Mga white flowers. Next slide. Yung tinuog tree, sa Agusan may tuog. The more na maraming tuog trees, marami siyang mga elements such as gold, iron, and nickel. Sa Agusan nito makikita ang tinuog, some part of the Caraga kung saan rich in natural resources. Kaya maraming mining and illegal logging sa Agusan and Caraga because Butuan considered as a timber city of the south. Next slide. Tinuog. 3. Ito yung representation ng Golden Tara of Agusan. This is my painting. I saw this one in Chicago Museum, in the Field Museum, kung saan is a symbol of power, dignity, and authority. Ito yung pagsayaw ang manubo, medyo pinaakimbo, mimicking about the Golden Tara of Agusan. Ito yung silulong. Nakita ko silulong nung buhay pa, the most largest sea, 𝗏𝗏𝗃 salt or water, ito yung representation ng binuadya. Ito yung backbone niya. The more na may buadya, as I've said, or crocodile sa community, ito na maganda ang ecology. Kaya nakikita si Lolong sa Agusan Mars, the largest mark of Southeast Asia. Nasa Caraga, nasa Agusan del Sur. Next slide. Ito naman, nung nag-research ako, may nakuha akong folktale or folklore about Sinuyaman. Para siyang celestial maiden story, tatlong birds na may pakpak. Yung pakpak nila ay mga suyam. Ninakaw yung yung pakpak niya at itinago ng isang lalaki is about a folktale and a folktale story kung saan hindi lang natin makikita sa damit, meron din storytelling narrative na this is good for young and young at heart about the Sinuyaman folktale or folklore. Next slide, please. Yung bubungan is a forest. This is a representation of the mountain. Meron ding tudong na chanting, agad kinit bubungan, banwat kaming awan, udan-udanan, dito na bubungan. Ang mga manubo nakikita natin sa mountain, nakikita natin sa Agusan River nakatira, in our contemporary time, nasa na sila, kapatagan. Forest. Next slide. Ito ng Sinuyaman. Ang suyam is embroidery. Ang Sinuyaman, the act of embroidery. Kung saan makikita natin dito yung may mga tinuog, may mga, it's a collective community, tinampuso. Ito yung bank of the river, ito yung buaya. No? Sa Agusan River. Kasi nung unang panahon, maraming buaya ang Butuan. Kaya nung kapanahonan ng Kastila, meron kaming tinatawag na abayan, a fluvial procession in honor of Santa Ana. Kaya nangawala ang mga buaya sa river kasi it's very harmful ng buaya noon. For now, may buaya pa rin sa some part ng Agusan Mars, Agusan del Sur. Next slide. Suyam. Kung titingnan natin, akala natin decoration lang. Hindi, akala nating enhancement lang. Makikita natin yung symbolic meaning ng mga nabinutuon, kinawilan, mga baanaya, and shell. Kasi ginamit ang suyam to enhance their beauty, to enhance their personality. Kasi ang suyam mismo at saka mga palimuti sa extension to ng kagandahan nila at sa kakayamanan nila. Okay, next slide. And also protection from their body. Next slide. Next, makita natin ito yung tinatawag ng mga representation ng Minandala kung daan repetitive ang design. Next slide, red color, massive ang design. Ito naman yung nakita kong collection kung saan iba-iba ang representation, iba-iba din ang story, focus on nature, culture, and also oral literature. Next slide. Ito naman ang tawag nito, the mandala. Next. Ito yung iba-ibang design na hindi ko alam kung ano yung meaning nito. Still work in progress. Next slide. Ito yung kabo dress ng mga babae at saka lalaki, ng mga datu and bae. Next slide. Ito yung unisex na pwede pang babae, pang lalaki ng mga suyam or upper garment. Next slide. Ito na yung contemporary kung saan iba-iba ng meaning, iba-iba ng story. Next slide. Ito naman yung gamit ng mga bagani, red color. Next slide, please. Ito naman yung cell screen printing during the American. Ito yung cell screen or photographic. No, nagbabago na siya. Hindi na siya nagbuborda. Mas gumagamit na sila ng tolco or acrylic. Next slide. Lapit na matapos. Ito yung tubular garment. Sometimes it looks like a malong. No? Ginagamit to sa mga serigraph printing, cell screen design made of textile paint. Next slide. Ito yung pangulintang. Kapag hindi ka gumagamit ng suyam, gumagamit ka lang ng ng tela pero hindi sa embroidery. Pangulintangan ang term. Ito yung photographic cells kung saan ginagamit to ng mga alipin slate. Again, it's a yellow color, lower color. And ito yung computerized digital embroidery na more on innovation na. Yung mga design, pipili ka na lang. Noon kasi, kung anong gusto ng cultural bearer, siya ang gagawa. Ngayon, pwede ka na mag-dictate sa design. Next slide. Ito na yung mga sublimation in our contemporary time, mas threatened to sa natin, sa culture, kasi it's more on computerized, digitalized, parang naiba ng design. Next slide, please. Ang suyam, status symbol, power, aesthetics, beauty, and also spirituality. Next slide. Ito yung paliot na inspired from the suyam beaded necklace. We have a binuadya design, ginibang, a crocodile also. Aside from ginibang, aside from binuadya, crocodile. Look at the color, look at the pujo, the sling bag, made of beads, abaka, and polyester cloth. Next slide. Ito yung tibang headdress na ginagamit ng mga dato and also the bagani. Ang kalalakihan at alipin, they are not allowed to use this tibang kasi magkakasakit yung ulo nila. Next slide. Ito naman yung accessories for women, bae, and also bailan na babae. And ito yung yambitan. Kapag may yambitan, ibig sabihin dato or warrior ang gumagamit. Bagani. Next slide. Ito yung bagkos belt na pang babae and also pang lalaki. Yung accessories, mas more on the upper status. Next slide. Ito yung beaded necklace. Accessories. Ito yung ngayon, contemporary, dito ginagamit para sa cellphone. No, pabago-bago na ang purpose niya. Next. Ito yung bukag. Ang bukag kasi sa amin, yung basketry, yung Lala, kung anong design ng suyam, makikita din natin sa basketry. Ito yung traditional design kung saan makikita to sa National Museum of Butuan. Next slide. Yung ngayon, in contemporary time, in a colonial time, ginagamit na ang suyam sa beauty pageant, sa street dancing, kung saan iba na ang meaning, iba na ang symbolic design. Next slide. Ito yung suyam design competition sa Agusan del Sur, kung saan makikita natin yung creativity and also personality ng mga Agusanon, Manubo. There are only 4 colors. Next slide. Ito yung dolls at Rabat, Morocco, kung saan last year, nag-exhibit ako sa Africa. Ito yung mga ginawa kong mga dolls, mga puppet, na ako mismo gumawa ng ceramic dolls, and then dinamitan ko, may mga suyam siya. Na-represent ko dito yung suyam na abaka, suyam na polyester cloth, meron siyang digitalized, meron siyang sublimation, so on and so forth. Mga manika, umpo. And in a book, my mission kasi and also advocacy is about Agusan Manobo textile art and visual art. Nagpapapit din ako through storytelling gamit ang puppet move na ventriloquism. And this is the end of my there are references, photocredits, interviews, and lastly, these are last slide, please. Madugin ni salamat, daghang salamat sa tanan. Thank you very much. Sorry for the technical problem. Daghang salamat.
Madugi no salamat. Madugi no salamat to Professor Carlito. So we're so happy with your sharing of your research this afternoon. So we would like to know from Professor Carlito, before we call our next resource person and panelist, we would like to know about the tattoos, and that is the tattoos which became the inspiration for the suyam or the embroidery. because in the Visayas, the tattoos were also served as amulets. So we would, and then also the tattoo also signifies that you have vanquished an enemy. So we would like to know if the suyam that was inspired by tattoo is still also considered as an amulet or anting-anting. Did Professor Carlito hear us? Hear
Yes,
me?
what is the question all about?
My question is, the tattoo was considered as an amulet or also a symbol of having vanquished an enemy. So we would like to know if the embroidery or the suyam that was inspired by the tattoo also was also considered as amulet. Was the suyam also ano ta?
Actually, ang tattoo is considered as the record and also documentation. It's a two-dimensional. This is the second skin and second dress. This is also tinatawag ng human canvas. And then yung tattoo, nagiging embroidery siya. From embroidery, we call this one suya because the suya ng tattoo is the marker of our identity and the marker of our personality. It's give us an enhancement and also ginagamit din to extension of their expression and beauty na hindi lang siya may beauty or aesthetic kundi mayroon siyang symbolic meaning. The more na maraming tattoo, mataas ang katungkulan mo. The more na maraming embroidery, mataas ang katungkulan mo. Kung wala kang tattoo, kung walang embroidery, that means you are a slave or second-rate citizen.
Daghang salamat for sharing with us your research about that, Professor Carlito. So we would like to ask later some questions to Professor Carlito from our audience. So there are already questions for Professor Carlito. Before we give him the questions, he would like to also to ask the question from our another resource person. So yes, we would like to ask from our also fine arts professor from the University of the Philippines, Cebu, who has also done research on our pre-colonial fashion, pre-colonial art. So we would like to ask Professor 𝗤𝗄𝗃 regarding his research about the pre-colonial weaving and from maybe from Father Francisco Alcina. Yes,
Okay,
Professor J.
okay, mayong hapon sa tanan. I just want to zero in between the two presentations earlier from Professor Carlito's presentation of the Suyam and the contemporary intervention of the municipality of Badian on the banig weaving traditions of the municipality. I just want to bring the discussion to the present and then swing back to the pre-colonial roots of the weaving traditions we have, especially in the Visayas and especially here in Cebu. Cebu now is considered a UNESCO city, creative city of design, focusing on the furniture, home accessories, fashion, and all of these design products that we are exporting and circulating around in the Philippines and our neighboring countries. And a very good characterization of Cebuano design is really handcraftedness of the products and the locality of the materials used. And the two presentations actually bring in and should bring us to this realization that we have a lot of local materials and ingrained in the creative mind and ingenuity of the Cebuano creative craftsmen and designers is a very long history of ingenuity and creativity that we can see in the present articulation of these innovativeness. Nindot nga paminawon nga ang Badian ilang gi pahimugatan ang preserve sa banig tradition. In the same way that Hablon in Argao has seen very keen efforts to make it alive again among the Argawanons. And there is, speaking of Suyam, an embroidery tradition, and I would like to mention also the efforts to intervene into bringing back the embroidery tradition in Inayaga Naga. And all of these, and we have the shoe tradition, the shoe industry in Karkar. Naatanan sa Southern Belt, no? Murag nindot na siya nga buhi unog balik. And what I have realized in the course of my research that these craft heritage that we try to cultivate, serve today, actually are very much embedded in history. Ang kaning mga 𝗏𝗏, mga hablon, mga habanig, dugay na kaayo nga gi-practice sa atong mga forefathers. Muna nga mura og sayon kaayo ang pagpangamot sa Cebuano. And if you would read Alcina, and I've reviewed my notes earlier this morning, Alcina would say that the weaving is the encapsulation of the creative mind of the Bisaya, because it bridges the spiritual world, the physical world, and the self embedded or situated in that world. The self, the human person, caught in the middle of a physical world, nature, the rivers, the stars, the sea, and the spiritual world that it tries to commune with through words, through prayers, through chants, through songs. Ang weaving maoy naka-lala, naka-weave, ana niya. Mauna nga, ang weaving sa Bisaya, very extensive and automatic ang nga technique. The weaving would come in various forms: textiles, fabrics, plants, harvesting plants, and treating them so that you can come up with threads and fabric that you can endow the self a kind of clothing, a kind of vesture that would endow the person the dignity it deserves and its rank in society, and harvesting all the kinds of materials you have in nature to bring in products that you can use for everyday life, the basket, the mat, that could give human person the comfort, the means to live through life. Ang wala kaayo na focus karon sa mga researches o mga discussions, daghan, makabantay man siguro mo nga daghan karon ang pag-pay attention to Philippine fabrics, from north to south, bringing back the natural dyes, sourcing organic materials to dye the fabrics, and planting even sa una, the cotton, the pandan, the other I think that needs to be highlighted and studied ang atong basketry and kaning weaving for products, dili for vesture, dili the fabrics. And kung imong basahon sad ang mga early colonial friars writing about our baskets, there are extensive documentation of these practices. Nga nindot kay na mention ni Sir sa Badian, ang blankets karon nga atong na preserve lang ang paggamit sa pandan, no? But daghan kaayo nga mga blanket, mga banig, mga mats, sleeping mats nga gigamit sa una. There is a specific mat gamit ang bamboo, usa ginagagmay nga bamboo kanang kawayan o bagakay. Oo. And then they know exactly the characteristics of these materials and when to use them for specific purposes. For example, the bagakay, they would weave them into containers that could contain or carry or preserve the rice sa Bisaya. Kaya na may way of preserving the rice in the northern Luzon. Pero sa Bisaya, kay nga naman, ang bisag usaw kit-kit sa ilaga sa bagakay, di gyud maka-penetrate ang ngipon sa ilaga sa kana nga material. Meaning to say, they have studied the materials and know exactly when to use them. And interesting, na-mention si Pagafet, si Alcina, kanilang siguro before I close, before the advent of our plastic containers, kaning mga Tupperware, there is an extensive basketry for packaging among Cebuanos, among the Visayans, nga mag-transport sila from one place to other. They would create specific kinds of basketry using specific materials so that ma-preserve ang usa ka product from one point to the other. Imagine wala pa plastic. How would they transport liquids? How would they transport wet products? How would they preserve these products in the course of traveling them from one place to the other for several days? So they know exactly how to create containers and ways these kinds of products. Na siya gi-mention nga the art of the pitakas. Pitaka, murag atong pitaka karon murag magsudan sa kwarta. But sa una, it's a broader name for containers, boxes. Napod siya gitawag og abubotes or the abubots. Ang atong abubot karon mura naman po din siya og ganang mga bling-bling no nga accessories. But sakto ba po siya reference? The abubots were baskets that you would sling into the body. And some of the abubots would be carried by the forehead, back at the back, and then some, and so that the hands are freed to hold anything or navigate through the pathway from bringing all of this to abubot. And there are ways of designing, weaving different materials so that it would look embellished while retaining its quality and its capability to contain. And that, I think, perhaps is an important aspect of weaving that we should try also to navigate. And lastly na lang, nag-mention siya nga, ang atong mga bahay kubo, uneven man jud ang texture sa sawg, sa bamboo, na ay kind of mat made of rattan nga maunay most coveted among the Spaniards nga ilang i-carpet. So the pre-colonial Cebuanos would use this mat to carpet the bamboo flooring. Kay Alcina, these are intricately made, and so the Spaniards, when they come home, would bring these kinds of mats abroad as rugs. And the churches, wala pa may mga carpets ang mga simbahan. All of these are wonderful indigenous handcrafted mats made by local craftsmen. So I think with the efforts now of Badian, very commendable. We should also try to do more research on banig tradition, especially in the Visayas, and somehow try to revive this. We know that 𝗏𝗃 is the capital of mat weaving in the Philippines, and they have a very specific to their community ways of doing it. The materials, the tikog, they're using for the mats. And I think in Cebu, I think kailangan po nato mas studyahan og unsa pay lain nga nabuhat sa una nga pwede nato i-revive. And to close, I just want to zero in Professor Carlitos what he mentioned earlier, that the suyam really was not made for commercial purposes. They were made for family, friends, and the community. That level of intricacy, that level of quality that the olden craftsmen can give into their work was precisely because of that. They never intended to sell them. They never intended to mass produce these works so that it could be brought, it could be imported or mass produced for commercial purposes. But rather they put so much heart, so much time and effort into the making of the suyam, into the banig, into the weaving, embroidery, and all of this because they want their wives, their husbands, their kids to be proud of their work. When they wear them, when their visitors would come in into their houses and see the kind of weaving in their floors, in their bedrooms, or in their furniture, they would have that kind of pride of place, pride of their craft, that they are excellent artists, artisans. And so I think that is perhaps what we should bring in, that consideration, that sometimes we resort on ways that diminish the value of our products just so we can mass produce and we can market this to more people. I think our local governments like Badian and the government agencies responsible for this uh, 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 greater appreciation and promotion of these crafts should always consider this. How can we protect the level of intricacy, the level of quality, while also promoting and bringing these products to more people to appreciate. Makaproud man gyud siya. And I also believe that our products need to reach distant lands abroad, be celebrated around the world. But we just have to be careful in balancing these important aspects of culture, community, and people who want to appreciate together with the community and celebrate with them the kind of creative, ingenious ways of looking at the world through the crafts that we produce. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat for your beautiful insights and sharing, Professor J. So I am so struck by what you shared about weaving as the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. Because usually, if we go, like Professor Carlito also mentioned that they weave what they dream. Then, of course, when we went to Tatibuli, like this tinalak, they would say that they would weave the design depending on the dream that would be given to them. They would dream of the design inspired by the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 spirit, is the deity of the 𝗏𝗏𝗃. So which means it is a mandate, like it is given to them by the deity of the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 that they should weave this design. So that's why they would do that. It's to bridge the spirit. It's from the spirits. So they need to do it. Otherwise, the deity would be angry. So of course, they made designs that would protect them. So I would like to ask you, so do you think, because of course nowadays the young people no longer, when we went to the Tibuli, they were thinking that they would make designs based from what the market wants, like what their customer want. In the past, they would make designs according to what they see from nature. So may we show Professor J. So what do you think? So does this have an effect? Like, if it's not just aesthetics for them, it's also like protection as amulets, and as something you do to please the gods, to please nature.
I think the government has put in a lot of processes now in order for us to protect these kinds of narratives and these kinds of context of the communities. Very difficult now to create these kinds of products without the approval of the National Commission for Indigenous Peoples in Oo. Oo. And the Indigenous Peoples Committee would be signing a lot of documents for you to be able to go up in the mountain to work with the communities. And now we really we have to acknowledge this really as an important challenge to promotion of our local cultures. And with this challenge should be ways to to answer and ways to balance out the need to promote and the need to expand the reach of these kinds of products because guwapo gid sila and something that we can be proud of. Ang kana lang karon because I teach in product design in UP and I also teach design theory, and the ethics of design should not be should not be uh, pressed on the indigenous communities to take on. Our designers and our people who design and has the companies working with them should have that ethical understanding of their practice, ethical design. Our designer should be trained at the ethical way of working with these communities. Because we know very vulnerable ang atong mga communities. They are not educated. They don't read and some of them do not read and write according to the Western way that we are educated. So they are very prone to market and capitalist forces. And I think what we need also while helping them out is really training our local designers, our mga tourism officers, our mga cultural workers, mga mga startup companies. Daghan kay ni karon nga mga bagong mga shoe, mga fashion accessories. I think a training for them to understand what the cultural appropriation is, when is the limit of borrowing forms, designs from communities and bringing them to commercial purposes. And kana hinoon, the Design Center of the Philippines, DCP, has started working with designers and giving out trainings for design workshops with these kinds of themes and endeavors. Hopefully, magkaabot agin murag bag-o man gud ni natong tanan ang kani, and I think it's part of this ba. It's a post-colonial experience that we thought that we don't have to celebrate this because we're always looking at the West, the US, the Europe to appreciate their culture as high culture, and we always see ours as kanang low culture, craft lang, kuan lang. And this new realization, bag-o kaayo ni sa many of us, even in government. And I think we should be helping one another, the academe, the government agencies, working together because lahi gyud kaayo ang value system, ang atong commercial value, ang market value, ang pagtan-aw nato so sa kabutang, especially coming from a very Western perspective of things and products, lahi gyud kaayo ang cultural value sa communities nga gi-attach to the product. And I think more dialogue should be made between these. And I'm quite hopeful ang government na ginahinay gyud og katon man, nahinay og journey with the design community, journey with the indigenous communities. And these kinds of forum is also very important. So
Yes.
tanan naman daghan pa ko
Thank you
ma-share,
very
mahurong
much,
ako.
Professor J, for your sharing about the challenges. And to continue, actually, later I would ask after the reaction from our government agency that is here regarding promotion of the local fiber for textile and other handicraft. So we would like to ask later from the Badian the Banig capital of Cebu, from Badian, regarding what they know about the how banig is used in indigenous communities. Later, I would ask Municipal Tourism Officer, about that. So first, we would like to ask from the Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority, Region 7. We have with us the OIC Regional Director. So we have with us the OIC Regional Ragnaon and 𝗵𝗵. So is it ready? Wala pa? Na-off na? So Sige. So we actually had an initial discussion yesterday with the regional director of the Philippine Fiber Development Authority. So actually, he mentioned about the different agencies to help the community regarding the promotion of fiber and developing this into textile or crafts, and also marketing this. So there are different agencies for that. And our director from Region 7, the Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority, would share with us their experience in this endeavor in promoting local fiber with the community. So we have with us the OIC Regional Director of 𝗃𝗲𝗃. We have Joseph, pretty much change ang name sa description. So we have Joseph Salas.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for inviting us for this forum. I'm Joseph Salas, OIC Director of Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority. Our office is attached agency of the Department of Agriculture, mandated for the development, research, and production of and trade regulation of the different fiber, commercial fiber, Philippine fiber in the Philippines. We have several different fibers in the country, and our banner fiber is the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 fiber, endemic sa atin sa Pilipinas. Ang pinaka namin talaga is yung pinag-usapan natin dito is yung about the product, the fabric. Our agency is more on the production of the raw material of this fabric, the Philippine fiber. So like what Sir Carlito said, that according to 𝗃𝗲𝗃𝗃, when he arrived in the Philippines, some of the indigenous people are already wearing fabric, especially the area of where 𝗏𝗏𝗃 is in Region 8, in Caraga. So before na ang Spaniard nang abot na diri sa atua, ang ato ding mga tao nanay mga kuan, nanay mga sinina. Ang hubo, ang bahag ana is more on territorial identity, di ba? Territorial identity. So kung ang atong may sulot ang mga tila, mga bado atong una is more on territorial, prestige, ang position mo in community, and also the spiritual identity, affiliation nato sa nature. So we in Visayas, we have a different culture, we have a different kanang identity regarding wearing of kanang kining mga fabric nato. So we have differ punta sa Mindanao at saka sa Luzon. So ang pinaka ano lang dito is, ang na-observe ko lang based sa discussion nato is the connectivity between the past and the future and the present. Like what the Badian said, that they cannot connect where the kining banig making started, but way before nanagyon na siya, because ang nature man jud sa tao is to comfort ourselves. So mao na siya din to have a position. Banig is one of the kuan yun na siya sa position nato as kanang human being. So ang ako lang makuha nato is mabalik nato ang identity sa Visayas kung kinsa ta kaniadto. We can say we can pass the skills, what you said sir, nga ang kining mga skills nato as we making kining paghimog banig mapasa nato generation to generation, but the spirit of making this banig mo ay wala nato mapasa nato. So we in the government, especially sa region sa 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃, we can have the kanang makatabang misay nyo sir sa production kung paghimutag na resiri dani sa kining sa mga banig sa sa mga materialis. Naana sa amo kami ang mandito na nga mohatag og technical assistance, product development. We can partner with the PTRI, Philippine Textile Institute, Research Institute. Sila na kami is in more on raw material production research, but in transforming it into fabric, it is the PTRI research. Then although we have also the we have also the division kanang fiber technology utilization division. We can also help you in modifying sa inyong kan. We have also the engineering division para maano to sir yung katong imong kuan ma-mechanize nato tong inyong product. So maybe you can write sa amo kung unsay need yun ninyo so that we can also request in the central office what assistance we can extend sa inyong sa kuan sa Badian, because in Region 7 is a unique region. We are separated by province, by the that we have also different fiber. We are multi-fiber, kaya multi-fiber yung ang yatag sa imo ma'am nga kuan nga product. Kay we are a multi-fiber region. We have raffia in Bohol, which is kanang sikat na siya nga raffia. We have kanang saysal and magay in Cebu. We have salago, we have abaka, we have cotton. So kini nga mga materials is mo ni say gamit nato diani, but unta mabalik nato ang behind nganong naani siya nga product, because God ang Ginoo nag-provide gud siya diani ang ibutang nimo siya sa mga tambok nga yuta na yung mga mo nang abaka ang ayam sa tambak, pero ngari ka pud sa mga pansil nga yuta kinisad nga mga saysal, kining magay. So God provide us materials for the fabric nya dito sa mga swampy area mo ni siya ang tikog kining kuan kining rumblon or baryo. So ang ano kana nato this is the connection sa kanang kuan kining ato agency to agency. So siguro makatabang mi sa inyo dahil sir, we also need the assistance from DTI for the product dev and the promotion and the tourism for the more sa tourism sa kuan. So thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, salamat. So we're so happy with the sharing of our OIC director for the Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority. So they said that they have trainings and workshops, and they also provide assistance to the community who wants also to develop their raw material source for these crafts. So we're so happy that 𝗲𝗲 Region 7 has connected with the Badian Municipal Tourism, so that the Badian banig craft weavers, the banig weavers would be able to develop and modernize their technology in banig weaving. So thank you very much for that. So actually, Regional Director Joseph Salas shared really that there is a different agency for the raw materials production. It's 𝗲𝗲, and for developing this into textile, it's the Philippine Textile Research Institute, and for marketing this and selling this, it's for the DTI. And a product development is in charge for this is the DTI. They just need to coordinate all these agencies. So so there should be collaborative efforts among these government agencies to really be effective in helping and working with the community in really promoting this cultural heritage material. So of course we know already that in the UNESCO recently, it's already declared as an intangible cultural heritage. For Cebu, it's creative city. But in Aklan, they declared the piña as already a UNESCO intangible. Is it art or heritage? Intangible heritage, the piña fiber or the piña textile. So before we call the former director of the 𝗲𝗲 Region 7, we would like to ask our Badian Municipal Tourism Officer to share with us his research also regarding the spiritual uses or how indigenous communities also use the banig. So we have Earl here.
Hello, mabuhay again. It's a bit louder.
Yes.
Okay. So way back when I was in college, no, we studied the 𝗲𝗵𝗷𝗺 community here in Mambaling, and we found out that they have really a lot of practices as well that is related to banig, like in terms of birth, from birth to death. So sorry. The most prevalent practices that they have is that when they have this deceased member of the family, they will wrap them out with banig. So meaning that the banig is really existent from birth up until death. So gipanganak ka using banig, and then mobalik ka with banig as well. So that's the practice with the 𝗲𝗵𝗷𝗺. That's what we found out before. In Badian, we're really sad know that the connection between the history of banig and then how is it now has been cut. But we're thankful with what RD said earlier that there is a chance. So it's gonna banig weaving in Badian has gone a long way, and we still need a long way to go, especially in terms of product development. If we compare the banig of Badian comparing to other regions, it's not that compatible. Let's just be honest. But I know that there are different agencies that can help us. Actually, we are partnering already with DTI-RD in terms of product development. They have been visiting us since 2021 when I am the tourism officer, because I requested them to really help us develop the banig industry in Badian, because we really see the potential of having these industry develop, because it will really help them, especially with the tourism of Badian that we need. So that's why this forum really helped us to connect with you as well. So it's a really great opportunity, and I'm very thankful to 𝗵𝗃 for inviting me because this really opened an opportunity for us to really improve the banig industry of Badian.
Daghang salamat, Earl. So we are also happy that we are able to connect our past to the present and help the present community also connect with the past to really have to know what is the meaning of these crafts that you are creating. So we would like to also recognize our audience online. So we have Dara from SDO Tapat. Daghang salamat for joining us. Also, Ferdy is 𝗵𝗵𝗃 is asking Professor Amalia if Michael. So later we would ask Professor Amalia if he is still around, if it's possible to loan the later. So if it's possible to loan your dolls for school caravan exhibit. So there is also the Janet Diego from SDO Tapat, Taguig City and Pateros watching. And Amir Kyle is saying magandang hapon from Pateros National High School. And there is also a question from the supervisor of Taguig City and Pateros if there are incentives that await the banig and other woven products producers. So we don't know yet. So maybe this is for the Philippine textile. Oh no, for the TTI. For the producers, are there incentives? Or maybe we could now ask, we would now like to ask the next reactor to share with us his insights. We have with us the former director of the Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority in Region 7. We have Benjamin Gomo, our Suki at 𝗵𝗃. Yes, your
Okay.
reaction to this to the
Okay, good
discussion.
afternoon, everyone. Kini si Benjamin Gomo, retired
Please
already
change
from the Philippine fiber industry 2 years ago. Actually, it's a long way na gyud ang naagian sa Philippine fiber industry. During my time, actually, ma'am, we are more focused sa raw production, raw fiber production, which is the abaca, the raffia, the silk, the pinya, and cotton. Now comes the new generation of us nanataaning product development in collaborations with other government institutions kay dili makaya sa 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃. So we collaborated with the PTRI, DOST, DTI, even DNR and DAR for this. Ang tikog sa Samar has gone a long way. Sige lag join o kana exhibit. Nowadays, tikog has improved. We hope to see in the next few years ang banig sa Badian. Kay it is really the banig capital of the province of Cebu. And we are hoping also to develop our abaca industry kay atong hablon sa Argao actually is gaining prominence na with the help of our fashion designers. In my time, pirmi ko mo join sa Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated sa ilahang Green Revolution, hoping unta nga ma-revive. We have the Go Green na karon nga padayon gihapon nga industriya ni. And our hablon industry sa Argao has gone a long way. In fact, kini akong gi-wear karon is actually the product of Argao hablon.
Yes. Daghang salamat for your sharing, former Regional Director 𝗵𝗲𝗃 𝗵𝗀. So, of course, our community of weavers, the local craftspeople, would always say that they could not continue doing their crafts if no one would patronize them. So, in the past, they would produce this for their family, for the people in the community. But when I go, for example, when I went to the Tibuli, and then I wouldn't see people wearing the tinalak unless we would already do the video shoot, and we would ask them, may you wear your tinalak? And even in Sulu, in the Tausug community, so the women would wear the hijab or for the head cover for the Muslim women, but for their like for this for the kandit, pishabit, or the local, the local woven materials, they wouldn't use it. And then I asked why, because it's very expensive to wear these materials. So it's our local heritage, it's our local, fabric, textile, but then it's now very expensive for the people to use. So what could be done? So I asked actually RD Salas yesterday, and he said there would be so much there is so much to do to make this affordable. So it comes from the start, from production. So, si Kuan, that's former RD Benjamin would like to say something. How to make these fabrics affordable?
Yeah, actually, I get your point, ma'am. Mahal man gyud ang atong local fabrics. I think with the national law passed by Senator Loren Legarda requiring all government employees nga mag-wear gyud sila og kanang uniform out of our tropical fabrics kahit hindi 100%. So we have a fabrics now in Hablon, Argao, and in Negros Oriental. Pila ka porsyento lang ang cotton or pila ka porsyento lang ang abaca mixed with polyester. Dili pure nga fiber gyud kay it's really expensive. Katong imong gi-mention nga pinya fabrics from Aklan, it is the most expensive gyud. But if i-mix niya nato sa lain nga mga textile or raw materials, mo lesser nang yang price.
So daghang salamat RD, former Regional Director Benjamin. So also RD Joseph Salas told me yesterday that it's very expensive because of the hours that are spent by the the weavers in producing this. So maybe when he said that there could be modernization in this production, in weaving. So, but then we also like the handcrafted materials, right? So what could be done? So do you have an idea? So actually, we have Professor Carlito also. There is a question for him regarding exhibiting his dolls, his puppet. Is it possible, Professor Carlito, to exhibit this in Taguig City as according to the supervisor of the Arling Panlipunan DepEd in Taguig? Is it possible? Is he still around? Wala na. So there is a question if it's possible to have an exhibit of your crafts in Taguig City. Yes.
Kindly repeat the question. I cannot hear. I'm using here my cell phone.
So the question from the DepEd Araling Panlipunan of Taguig City, is it possible to have an exhibit of your crafts like the dolls in Taguig City?
Yes, it's welcome. Maybe someday I will exhibit my ompo. Ompo means agusan manubodal. It is made of ceramics and also meron siyang embroidery from abaka. And then we have here the polyester cotton and also sa mga design. Someday pag-usapan na lang natin.
Yes, thank you, Professor Carlito. So maybe we could connect you to the DepEd. So in Taguig City. So another question for you is that is it also, are the young people, like the people in Agusan, most people where I went to, the indigenous peoples don't wear their traditional attire, like their traditional clothing every day because it's very expensive. Is it also what is happening in Agusan to the Madubo, that they don't wear their traditional clothing because it's expensive? And what should be done to address this?
Actually, if you're going to visit the Agusan Manobo community, you cannot no longer see their traditional dress as long as if they have the rituals or gathering, doon mo makikita. Then why is it expensive? Because 2 months or 1 month to matatapos ang embroidery. Actually, it is not a commercial purposes. Pero meron sa Butuan na commercial pero wala na siyang rituals. And then I said, bakit mahal? Dahil mahirap siya gawin. Hindi naman talaga to pang for sale or for commercial. Pero kung mag-order kayo sa tawag to cultural bearer, pwede naman makausap. Malilesen naman yung gastos.
Yes, salamat, Professor Carlito.
Thank you.
It's actually a new setup right now. We have a phone with with this online streaming. Dahil salamat for
Daghang
so now we
salamat.
would like to have the closing words from Professor Carlito so that we can already rest from your phone.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
do you have your
Thank you.
closing words for this event? The weaving mats and fabrics na wag ta akong audio. Yes.
Again, what is the question?
Kanang wala na ko'y audio. Microphone na lang.
Okay.
Sini.
Okay, thank you. Again, our tradition, our art and heritage. Okay.
We would like
Oh, sorry.
wala niyo. We would like
Mm. Okay. Oo.
so
Okay, my closing is about that Suyam is our. Mm. Hello? Sound check. Wala.
so hello?
Mm-mm.
Hello.
No problem.
Hello. So we would like, so we have so much, we need to make a ritual kuno in this room. So we would like to get the closing words from Professor Carlito regarding this event about the weaving fabric, especially his foresight or insights also regarding the future of the Manobo textile and embroidery.
The Suyam Agusan Manobo textile is an heritage. At the same time, it's a marker of our identity and also our wealth also. Kasi the purpose of creating art, the purpose of creating a craft is to beautify and to become a good steward. Kaya ang gagawin natin, ipadayo lang yung tradition natin, but we have to focus some of our limitation. Dapat we are also focused on kung ano yung mga etiquettes nito, kung ano yung nararapat. As long as mapadayo, mapa-continue, para hindi mawawala yung yung heritage and tradition. Yun lang. Thank you.
𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗧, Professor Carlito. It's really our pleasure.
Yes.
We're so delighted to have you with us this afternoon, even with our technical problem and even with the distance. So we look forward to having you again next time without
Yes, someday, yeah. Pohon.
someday. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗧. So now, as we don't, before we go, we call our other resource persons for their closing words. We would like to have the trivia quiz. We would like also to see if we have more questions. So we have this trivia question for our on-site audience. So only for the first question is for the on-site audience. The second question is for everyone, but you will answer through the comment section of this Facebook Live event. So we have this question, which is very easy. If you listen to the discussion, you would be able to answer this question. And your prize would be our Alima native massage with orasyon, Hilot Binisaya. So this is our therapist at Alima Native Massage really learned traditional Hilot Binisaya, really from a mananambal and manghihilot who has roots from Siquijor. And you will also experience a healing prayer during your massage because, of course, we get healed with prayers. So the question is very easy. This is the question. You raise your hand and then you go to the microphone. The first one to raise his or her hand would go to the microphone. So the question is this. What is the material used for banig, native mats? Sige na nakadaog, give chance to others. So we have our Hall of Famer who is always winning. 𝗝𝗃𝗃𝗃 kini sila mga kuan. So, wala pa kakadaog do. Sige, go to the microphone. Please go to the microphone. Then ang camera, sige. So, please introduce yourself. Please change the name. The weaving, kung ano lang na, weaving mats, indigenous mats and fabrics. So, what's your name?
I'm Dodong Milan of Flag.
Yes.
My answer is Pandan.
Congratulations! So the congratulations, you get a free Hilot Binisaya. So, dili lang banig ang higdaan, it's a kuan man, sheet, dili banig. Maybe we should have banig in our kuan, alima ni, lisod paglaban, no, sa banig, lisod labhan. So, we have our Hilot Binisaya for Dudong Milan for knowing the answer that one material used for weaving, for banig making is pandan. And of course, si RD Joseph told me also magay and romblon, bariw. Dili magay, dili. Bariw, di ay bariw. Bariw. And also, romblon. So, thank you for that. So, ako di ko kadaog ang tulo kung ako ang answer. So, thank you very much for a very knowledgeable audience here, on-site audience. So, there is an answer. So, there is Amatula bint Basher says, daghang salamat, Professor Carlito. Ferdy says, salamat, Professor Carlito Amalia. Diwa Malaya says, Pandan and Romblon. Congratulations, Diwa, for knowing the answer. So the next trivia question is also very easy. And those who are online you will be winning this. So everyone would answer through the online. Still, the Instagrammable 𝗃𝗏 you will also have an orasyon, and you will experience a flower bath like bulak or buwak, bulak hulum kawa, or you can have also, this is bulak and milk bath, milk and gatas og kuani flower bath. And then you can have tinola hulum kawa, which is lemongrass, ginger and sea salt. So you can have also, you have the choice of the tinoa hulum kawa with ginger, sea salt and lemongrass. So the question, so everyone, so you can answer through the comment section. So Ferdinand says, Camagayan is one of the barangays along Junquera Street, Silingan sa 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗗. So Palmgrass is located at 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗗, Junquera Street, which is supposedly there are so many lubi in the past. So Camagayan is from Magay. So there are so many Magay in the past in Camagayan. Wala na karon, naa pa? Wala na yung Magay karon. So Magay is abundant in Camagayan. So the question is this, very easy question. You will win a 𝗃𝗏𝗃. Answer through the comment section of the Facebook page event, the live event. Name the Philippine textile recently declared as UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage. Comment section ang answer. Ha? Online. Sa dito sa Facebook page. Wala ba internet? Wala ba ka-connect sa Wi-Fi? Huwag mo tagai og kuan. Ay, give chance to others. So we will have the one who has not yet won. Pabor-pabor dito, namili o kisay wa pa makadaog. So, is Diwa Malaya here on site? Wala. She is online. So, congratulations. Actually, Rodora has answered correctly. Piña and Ferdy 𝗵𝗏 of Taguig City and Pateros answered correctly. Piña. But they are Hall of Famers in the trivia quiz of Pangrass. So, and Ferdinand Ascaraga also says Piña. Correct. Benjamin Gomo says Piña, but the first one nga dili Hall of Famer who answered correctly is Diwa Malaya. Congratulations. You will have an Instagrammable and healing 𝗃𝗏 bath at Palmgrass the Cebu Heritage Hotel when you come to Cebu. So also correct, Dana J.D. Honrales. So now we would like to invite you to our future events this month. So before we get the closing words from our resource persons, on December 29, we will have the Kadaugan, 125 years of the victory of the 1898 Visayas Revolution. So we will have on this day our resource persons from the National Historical Commission of the Philippines and also Vice President for Academic Affairs, who will talk about the Negros Island and Central Visayas, Cebu and Bohol, Cebu, victory of the revolution in Negros Island and in Cebu and even in Samar and Leyte. We will have Dr. 𝗟R𝗪𝗪𝗀, the uncle of one of our audience here who is also wearing woven cloth, textile. So we have also on that day from Panay Island. He is an Ilonggo from Panay, and he is with the Department of History at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. We will have Dr. Vicente Villan. to talk about the Panay Island. They were the first to be freed from the Spaniards. They won the first victory against the Spaniards in the Visayas. So aside from that, we will have the highlights of the Jonquera Street Children's Choir singing about the Pascos Kagawasan. We will launch the Cebu Hero stickers by our illustrator of the 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃, and we will have messages from the local government unit and from the descendants of the revolutionaries in 1898. So we also invite you to our welcoming of the year 2024 in the Tagbo 2024 New Year countdown here at Pangras. And of course, we invite you to our January 19 Sinulog event to trace the ritual dances and the war dances in the Visayas, or even among the indigenous peoples. We have a chanter from the Tibuli as one of our resource persons, and also someone from the University of the Philippines History Department in Diliman. So of course, we have also a discussion on the dogs in Philippine history on February 3 with NHCP and book of NHCP Ian Alfonso with his he is also the author of the dogs in Philippine history. So now we would like to have our resource persons to give their closing words. First, we will have from Badian, the Banig capital of Cebu. We have the closing words from Municipal Tourism Officer Earl Indap.
Hello. Okay, I'll be borrowing the lyrics of our jingle of Banig Festival. Kay apaglala sa banig bililhon nga panulundon, kini naghulagway sa mithing talagsaon. So meaning the banig weaving is not that common, especially nowadays. So that's why I'm very thankful for this opportunity to really discuss, share about banig, and I really learned a lot with the discussion, especially with the exchange of ideas with the audience, and for the opportunity as well. So this really opened, and I'm very thankful for the initiative of Palmgrass to share or impart the banig of Badian, because Badian is at the southern part of Cebu, and it's maybe it's not that known for banig weaving because of other regions as well, but I'm really thankful because looking forward for the next few years on the developments of Banik, especially with what has transcended to this discussion today. Thank you so much.
Dahil salamat to the tourism officer of Badian, and also we're so happy that you came really here from Badian to share with us about the banig weaving in Badian. So now we will have also our Suki resource person uh, to give his closing words from University of the Philippines Fine Arts Department, also the director of the University of the Philippines Cebu Museum, and also a consultant of the Hoya Gallery in UP Cebu. Please help me welcome once again to give his closing words, Professor J. Nathan Hore.
Again, thank you for inviting me. Mura og sige-sige na kita diri sa Palmgrass. But it's always enlightening and heartwarming every time we're here, because our passion, sometimes like working for culture and the arts, can be tiring, and it can even be disheartening. These kinds of work is very much misunderstood, or the scope of it, or the gravity of its supposed significance in the economic life. Kultura murag heritage na makaon bagud na nato nga murag and that translation impact to the economic life of peoples. And always here in Palmgrass, you can have that kind of energy and revitalization to the kind of work that we do, which is very much encouraging. And at the same time, seeing the representatives from the fiber agency this afternoon, and the kinds of efforts that the municipality of Badian is putting into the banig tradition and making it very much alive in the present. And I think in the course of these initiatives to preserve, promote, and bring back the tradition, uh, coming from the fine arts school, I think I just want to highlight the necessity and the need for a creative mind, creativity that comes with how designs are source reference from its history and its culture, how certain narratives could actually, and stories can actually enliven a very much distant product, say the banig from its past. Uh, I think while there is much effort for product development and creating new designs, bringing the product to a community, to where it come from, archiving, unearthing stories that could put much significance to the current work can somehow, I think, yung mga concern sa Badian ganina nga murag nakat ko, no, there are ways to it is not always the end for such kinds of initiatives nga murag nakat siya, dili na siya genuine, murag namang gunay daghang concerns about authenticity, about these kinds of rootedness in culture. Sometimes contemporary designs can speak for contemporary times and contemporary realities, which does not invalidate the cultural aspect of the work just because it is of the contemporary period, its production, its form, but it really articulates and captures the spirit of the time. So for efforts like Badian and other, it is important to unearth more stories from the community and bringing these forms back to the community and vice versa. This is an exercise of dialogue and opening up. And our weaving tradition, Lala, pag-weave, it's the most brilliant way to bring together these diverse stories, diverse realities, past, present, future, physical world, spiritual world, weaving together the Filipino identity, the Filipino culture. So all the best for Badian and all the best for our fiber commu- di ko, BFI na. Di ka pagkakuan sa-
Development
I don't
Authority.
know. And to all the best for the efforts of Palmgrass and all those people working to preserve, promote our weaving traditions in the Philippines.
Daghang salamat, Professor J, for your very beautiful and inspiring words. So, of course, we get inspired also by the encouragement from Professor J to continue our advocacy of reconnecting with our roots. Our aim really at Palmgrass is to continue looking for our roots and retracing our roots so that we would be connected to our present. Like, how can we be connected to the banig? How can we be proud of this banig? This usually they would say only the poor would use banig, but you would know from pre-colonial times that the noble, the royal family or the people would use banig. And so this has we should be proud of these items, this cultural heritage, and how to be proud of this. We cannot love something if we don't know anything about it. That is why we keep on talking about this every month, all about our cultural heritage, our local art, our our history. So Diwa Malaya says yay for a winning. And Diwa Malaya says, I'm based here in California, but will be coming to the Philippines next year. See you, Pamgras. So we really are excited to see you here, Diwa Malaya. Very beautiful name. A spirit of freedom. Diwa Malaya. So thank you very much for watching this while in California and also being proud of our cultural heritage of our indigenous fabric and mats. So daghang salamat our partners, 𝗓𝗏𝗃 Foundation Incorporated, the Yandi Heritage Center, the Central Visayas Association of Museums. So ang 2020, malipayong Pasko datong tanan, malipayong Pasko sa kagawasan. See you on December 29 in our next event. Daghang salamat ug maayong hapon. Na pa'y question? Ni-end data? before we end, one more question. Kay, we always listen to our audience. So while we are di pa tamuin, kay there is one more question. Please give us to whom do you address your question. Wa pa day, napay addendum. Napa ni kuan kanang unsa gani nang kanang encore before nahuman ang performance pero naapay pagkapin. more. So we have from our tour guide, from Flag, from our winner in the trivia question, Dudong Milan. So we have one more question.
Okay. Actually, I would like to address this question. It's not a question actually to our tourism officer from Badian, si Sir Earl. Sir, I joined the 𝗖𝗍 Sugbu last November 30 to December 1. And I was so amazed with your math waivers there sa Badian. But is it possible to bring our guests, aside from, of course, the 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 waterfalls, the most friendliest waterfalls in the world, and bring our guests to the math waivers in Badian? Kay so sayang kaayo nga dili bitaw ma-experience ay culture the math waivers in Badian. Kay it's one of the most kanang heritage and cultural aspect in Badian para to keep our tourists aside from the waterfalls, para makip sila within the Badian aside from the waterfalls of Kawasan.
So please show our municipal tourism officer from Badian. So Earl, so the question is the microphone okay?
Hello.
So the question is if it's possible to have, may we show closer, please? Yes. So we have the answer from our Badian tourism officer, if it's possible to bring the tourists to the mat weavers.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you for the question. No, so what we did with, for example, if there are really tourists want to experience banig weaving, is we will have them, or we'll bring them to the homes of the weaver so that it will really be that authentic. Okay, some areas, Manggod, is that they have this place, demo area, wherein tourists will go to that area to experience. But in Badian, since we still don't have a demo area, but good news, we are developing one soon. So for now, we are bringing our tourists to the homes of the weavers. So for example, in Poblacion, we have a near barangay in Barangay Talayong, like what we did this year. We have visitors from Singapore because they want to buy banig products of Badian, and then they want to really see the process of banig weaving. So we bring them to the barangay and then to the homes of the weavers, and then really experience the authenticity of banig weaving to the homes of the weavers themselves. Good sir. So mona ang ato ang gibuhat karon to really promote the banig weaving. So aside from the product, sila mismo makakita o maka-experience kung unsa ka intricate ang paglala sa banig.
Daghang salamat to Municipal Tourism Officer Earl. And of course, we are going also to display the Badian Banig here at our Palmgrass Sinugatan gifts from Cebu. So, and of course, we will connect you to the Badian weavers if you want the demo. We would offer our guests also to connect them to the mat weavers if they want to watch also banig weaving in Badian. So, mao na gyud to ang last. Daghang salamat to our audience, the online audience and the on-site audience. Daghang salamat ug may hapon atong tanan.
Paglanako ning lukay, dili gyud siya hamugaway. Gilasab na ko ang mga kasakit sa matag dahoning lukay, wala gyud ko'y pahuway. Nakulit ang way undang nga kahadlok. Lisud hunaon, lisud pagyud buhaton. Bisag unsay atubangon, basta mag-uban ng gihapon. Unta kauban ta sa kasakit og sa kapait, taliwa sa kalisod. Dili unta kamo buhi, hangtod sa hangtod. Kitang duha maninuod, sama sa kinasing kasing ta nga paghimo. Unta magkahiusa atong nakigbisog nga gugma. Dungan natong gamon, mga lukay sa paglaom. Unta magkahiusa atong nakigbisog nga gugma. Punon nato ang kinasing, mga lugar sa pangandoy. Lisud hunaon, lisud pagyud buhaton. Bisag unsay atubangon, basta mag-uban lang gihapon. Unta kauban ta sa kasakit ug sa kapait, taliwa sa kalisod. Dili unta kamo buhi, hangtod sa hangtod. Kitang duha maninuod, sama sa kinasing kasing ta nga paghimo. Natimtim mo ba ang pait kong mga luha, sa mga yamok sa matagwala, malangalo ka. Unta kauban ta sa kasakit ug sa kapait, taliwa sa kalisod. Dili unta kamo buhi, hangtod sa hangtod. Kitang duha maninuod, sama sa kinasing kasing ta nga paghimo. Sama sa kinasing kasing ta nga paghimo.